Welcome back. So I was at dinner with my parents the other night, and we got on the topic of old school technology. And throughout that conversation, I was thinking, like, we don't get any cool, fun social technology anymore. Like, obviously we do. Of course we do. We have the illustrious smartphone. It is almost limitless in what you can do socially. However, actually, I don't have a bigger point. Obviously, phones are much better than anything we had before. However, I just find some of these older pieces of tech neat. For example, I didn't quite understand how pagers worked, so they told me about those. Now, to my previous understanding, I thought it was like a little machine with one of those tiny calculator type screens with a little keyboard. You could type little messages and it would beep. I think there was something like that, but that was not the typical pager you hear about. A pager, to my new understanding, was a little machine with a screen, and that's it. Okay, it's a little more complicated than that. You'd have a number, and people would have to dial your pager number, and they could speak to you in numbers. And that was it. That's how they'd communicate. Of course, you could notify people to call you back, I guess, and they had little codes to mean stuff, but that was it. And apparently, if you had a pager, you was the shit. You was the bee's knees. They'd be in class and they wouldn't even be able to respond or nothing. Just the beep itself gave off swagger. And another thing we talked about, pull out stereos. Picture this. It's 1992, and Carl just bought a new stereo. And of course, he wouldn't want his precious tunes to get stolen. So what does he do? He yanks the whole bitch out the car. Okay, when you hear this, it might sound like a neat idea, but these things were bricks, suitcases. These were not wieldy devices, and they would walk around with it. As per the information from my sources, you'd go into stores and just see people with their stereo in their pocket. And this shit was just normal. That's just fucking hilarious. I don't care who you are. There was some other stuff, like recording the songs on the radio onto a tape, so you'd have to avoid when the casters throw 6 eagle noises over your favorite song. This also made me think, what's gonna be retro to my kids? Like if they'll have arc reactor PlayStations and heads-up displays, and if they'll think the newest smartphone of today is retro and funny. Now ain't that something? All right, bye.